How to create connections with powerful people, 15 laws the elite live by. Published by Timeless Audiobook. Introduction. Powerful people do not connect with everyone. They connect with those who carry value, discipline, and a certain quiet strength. They live in a world where time is expensive, trust is rare, and attention is guarded like a treasure. That is why building connections with the elite is not about chasing them, flattering them, or begging for opportunities. It is about becoming the kind of person who naturally belongs in their presence. This audiobook is not a guide to fake networking tricks. It is a guide to transformation. Because the truth is simple. The higher you rise in life, the more your character becomes your introduction. Your habits speak before your words. Your reputation walks into the room before you do. And your energy either earns respect or gets ignored. Many people dream of being close to successful individuals, wealthy mentors, and influential leaders. But very few understand the invisible laws these people live by. The elite do not build relationships emotionally, they build them strategically. They do not trust quickly, they do not waste time, and they never give access to someone who brings confusion, weakness, or desperation into their world. In this audiobook, we will explore 15 powerful laws that will reshape the way you think, speak, carry yourself, and build meaningful relationships with high-level people. You will learn how to become valuable before you become visible, how to earn respect without begging, how to communicate with confidence, and how to build trust that opens doors money cannot buy. If you apply these laws with patience and discipline, your circle will change, your opportunities will change, and eventually, your entire life will change. This is your chance to stop chasing powerful people and start becoming one of them. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Become valuable before you become visible. If you want real connections with powerful people, you must understand this truth early. Powerful people are not impressed by desire, they are impressed by value. They are not searching for someone who wants success, they are searching for someone who represents success. Someone who carries skill, someone who carries discipline, someone who carries results. And this is where most people fail. They spend their whole life trying to be noticed, trying to be seen, trying to be invited into rooms they don't belong in yet. They chase the spotlight, they chase attention, they chase proximity. But the elite do not respect attention seekers. They respect value builders. So the first law is simple, and it is powerful. Become valuable before you become visible. Visibility without value is noise, and noise is cheap. Anyone can be loud, anyone can talk big, anyone can dress well and post motivational quotes and claim they're going somewhere. But powerful people have seen it all, they've heard it all, they've been promised everything. That's why they only pay attention to people who prove something. If you want to stand out, stop trying to look important, start becoming important. Value is built in silence. It is built in the early mornings when nobody is clapping for you. It is built when you keep learning while others keep scrolling. It is built when you train your mind, sharpen your skills, and develop a level of competence that cannot be ignored. That is how you earn respect, not by talking, not by begging, not by networking. You earn respect by becoming rare. And let me tell you something, rare people don't need to introduce themselves too much. Their work introduces them. The elite live by a mindset that most people never understand. They do not ask, "Who do I know?" They ask, "Who is capable?" Because capability is the real currency. If you can solve problems, if you can produce results, if you can bring clarity where others bring confusion, you will always be welcomed. People will return your calls. People will remember your name. People will open doors for you because you make life easier for them. That is the secret. Powerful people are surrounded by pressure. They deal with risk, responsibility, competition, and decision-making every day. So when someone enters their world, they are unconsciously asking one question: are you an asset or are you a burden? If your presence adds stress, you will be avoided. But if your presence adds strength, you will be valued. So build strength. Become the person who has something solid to offer. Maybe it's a skill, maybe it's knowledge, maybe it's execution, maybe it's leadership, maybe it's creativity, but it must be real. Not imagined, not claimed, real. And here's the good part. You don't need to be famous to be valuable. You don't need to be rich to be valuable. You don't need to have a big social media following to be valuable. What you need is competence. You need consistency. You need proof. Because value is not what you say you are. Value is what you can deliver. Think about it. If you were a powerful person, busy, successful, constantly moving, would you connect with someone who has no direction? Would you invest time in someone who brings nothing but dreams and desperation? No. You would connect with someone who is improving, someone who is building, someone who is reliable. So if you want access, become reliable. Do what you say you will do. Show up on time. Improve your health. Improve your confidence. Improve your communication. Improve your mindset. Improve your work ethic. Because powerful people can sense instability. They can sense laziness. They can sense weakness hiding behind confidence. But they can also sense hunger that is disciplined. They can sense someone who is serious, and when they meet someone serious, they respect it. This is why you must stop waiting for opportunities to make you better. You must make yourself better before opportunities arrive. That is how the elite live. They train before the competition. They prepare before the spotlight. They sharpen themselves long before they are seen. And one day, if you stay consistent, something interesting happens. You don't have to chase powerful people anymore. You don't have to beg for a seat at the table. You don't have to force your way into rooms. Because your reputation starts walking ahead of you. People begin to mention your name. People begin to notice your discipline. People begin to say, this person is different. And that is when you become visible in the right way. Not through noise, not through hype, but through substance. So remember this law. Burn it into your mind. Repeat it until it becomes your identity. Become valuable before you become visible. Because when you build real value, the right people will eventually find you. And when they do, you won't need to convince them of your worth. They will see it, they will feel it, and they will respect it. Chapter 2. Stop asking for help. Start offering utility. If you want to connect with powerful people, you must understand one uncomfortable truth. Powerful people are constantly being asked for something. They are asked for time, advice, money, opportunities, favors, recommendations, introductions, and attention. Every day someone is reaching out with a hidden agenda, and after a while they develop a natural defense mechanism. They become cautious, they become selective, not because they are arrogant, but because they have learned the hard way that most people do not want connection. They want advantage. That is why the fastest way to lose respect in the eyes of the elite is to approach them with neediness. Neediness has a smell. It doesn't matter how polite your words are, they can feel it. They can sense the desperation behind the smile. And once they sense that you are coming to take, they put up a wall. They may still be friendly, but the door will remain closed. So here is the law. Stop asking for help and start offering utility. Utility means usefulness. It means becoming the kind of person who makes things easier, faster, clearer, or better. Powerful people do not build relationships based on emotions alone. They build relationships based on value exchange. And that does not mean you must give them money or expensive gifts. It means you must bring something that matters, something that saves time, something that reduces stress, something that adds strength. Think of it like this. Powerful people are always solving problems. That is their life. Their business is problems. Their career is problems. Their responsibility is problems. So when they meet someone who solves problems instead of creating them, they remember that person, they respect that person, and slowly they begin to trust that person. The problem is, many people try to connect with the elite by acting like a fan. They show admiration, they praise too much, they over-compliment, they talk like a follower, and then they ask for guidance, they ask for mentorship, they ask for just 5 minutes. But those 5 minutes are never just 5 minutes. Powerful people know that. They know that if they give you a little, you will come back for more. That's why they avoid people who approach them like students before proving themselves like professionals. So if you want access, stop acting like someone who needs to be rescued. Start acting like someone who can contribute. Now, offering utility is not about being a servant. It is not about becoming someone's assistant or doing free work forever. It is about positioning yourself as an asset. There is a big difference. A servant is used and forgotten. An asset is valued and remembered. An asset earns respect because they bring results without being asked twice. Ask yourself a serious question. If you met a powerful person today, what could you offer them? Not what could you request, not what could you gain, what could you offer? Could you help them with research? Could you connect them with someone valuable? Could you solve a technical issue? Could you bring them a useful insight? Could you help their business grow? Could you take a burden off their shoulders? Even something simple matters. Maybe you notice a problem in their public branding and you send a thoughtful message with a solution. Maybe you read their book and share a meaningful summary with one strong idea they can use. Maybe you attend their event and you help organize something without expecting attention. Maybe you help someone close to them and they hear about it later. Utility is often small in the beginning, but small actions create big impressions. And here is the key. The elite respect people who move without begging. You must understand that asking is not always wrong. Sometimes it is necessary. But asking too early, asking too often, and asking without giving first is what destroys trust. It makes you look like a liability. It makes you look like someone who is hungry but not disciplined. Someone who wants a shortcut instead of a path. The elite do not respect shortcuts. They respect effort. They respect patience. They respect people who can stand on their own feet. So instead of asking, "Can you help me?" change your mindset to, "How can I make myself useful?" That one shift will change everything, because when you become useful, you become memorable. When you become memorable, you become trusted. And when you become trusted, you become connected. That is how real access is built. But let me warn you about something. Many people try to offer value in the wrong way. They offer value to look good. They offer value to impress. They offer value with the hope of getting something back quickly. And powerful people can sense that too. They can sense manipulation. They can sense when your kindness is not kindness, but strategy. So the real secret is this: offer utility with integrity. Do good work because it reflects who you are. Help because you are building your character. Contribute because you are building your reputation, not because you are expecting an instant reward. When you offer value from a place of confidence, it feels natural, it feels clean, it feels respectable. And that is what makes powerful people comfortable around you. You see, powerful people are careful with their circle. They protect their circle because their circle affects their future. They do not let just anyone close. They test people, sometimes without even realizing it. They watch how you behave when there is nothing to gain. They watch whether you show up consistently or disappear when you don't get immediate results. They watch whether you keep your word. They watch whether you respect boundaries. That is why offering utility is not a one-time act. It is a lifestyle. It is the habit of being a giver of value. And when you become that type of person, something powerful happens. You stop chasing relationships. Relationships begin to chase you. People start recommending you. People start mentioning your name. Opportunities start appearing, not because you begged for them, but because you earned them through contribution. This is the kind of energy that attracts powerful people. It is strong energy. It is independent energy. It is the energy of someone who is not looking for a savior, but someone who is building their own success. And let's be clear, this is not just about business. This applies to every area of life. Even friendships, mentorships, partnerships, and alliances are built on this same law. The elite want people around them who elevate the environment, people who bring solutions, people who bring maturity, people who bring calm, people who bring progress. So if you want to connect with the elite, become the person who brings progress. Don't be the person who drains the room. Don't be the person who complains, who gossips, who talks about problems with no solutions. Don't be the person who always needs emotional support, reassurance, and constant attention. Powerful people are already carrying enough weight. They do not want to carry you too. Instead, become someone who brings strength. Become someone who brings clarity. Become someone who brings competence. Become someone who can be trusted with responsibility. Because in the end, that is what connection really is. Connection is not just talking. It is not just being introduced. Connection is being trusted. And trust is earned by the person who gives more value than they demand. So remember this law. Stop asking for help. Stop chasing favors. Stop begging for doors to open. Start offering utility. Start becoming the person who makes life easier for others. Start becoming the person who contributes quietly. Start becoming the person who brings solutions. Because when you become useful, you become unforgettable. And powerful people never forget someone who made their life better. Chapter 3. Master the art of first impressions. A powerful person may never tell you this directly, but they live by a silent rule. First impressions are not everything, but they are the beginning of everything. In the world of influence, business, leadership, and high-level relationships, people don't always give you time to prove yourself later. They often decide who you are within the first few moments. Not because they are unfair, but because they have learned to read signals quickly. They have to. Their time is limited, their responsibilities are heavy, and their circle must stay strong. So if you want to connect with powerful people, you must learn to enter a room like someone who belongs there. First impressions are not about being flashy. They are not about wearing expensive clothes or trying to look rich. They are about presence. They are about energy. They are about the way you carry yourself before you even speak. Because before anyone listens to your words, they feel your confidence. They feel your discipline. They feel your self-respect. And that feeling becomes your introduction. Let me make this simple. When you meet someone powerful, they are unconsciously asking themselves, is this person stable? Is this person competent? Is this person confident? Is this person trustworthy? They may not say it, but they are scanning you. And you are answering those questions with your posture, your eye contact, your handshake, your voice, your calmness, and your ability to speak with clarity. This is why the elite respect people who look prepared. Preparation is visible. It shows in the details. A person who takes care of their appearance is usually a person who takes care of their life. A person who speaks clearly is usually a person who thinks clearly. A person who maintains calm energy is usually a person who can handle pressure. Powerful people are always looking for signals like that because those signals reduce risk. They want to be around people who feel solid, not shaky. Now listen carefully. You do not need to be perfect, but you must be intentional. Your first impression begins before you even arrive. It begins with your mindset. If you walk into a room feeling inferior, trying to impress, trying to prove yourself, that insecurity will leak out. You might talk too fast. You might over-explain. You might laugh too much. You might try to sound smart. And the moment you do that, the powerful person will feel it. They will feel that you are not comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not comfortable in your own skin, they will not feel comfortable trusting you. Confidence is not loud. Confidence is calm. So walk in calm. Stand straight. Breathe slowly. Speak slowly. Look people in the eye. Smile naturally. Not like a fan. Not like someone begging for approval. Smile like a person who respects themselves, because self-respect is magnetic. And remember this: powerful people do not want to feel like you are trying to take something from them. They want to feel like you are simply meeting them as a fellow human being. That means your first impression must communicate ease. You are not starstruck. You are not desperate. You are not nervous. You are present. You are grounded. One of the most underrated parts of first impressions is your voice. Your voice is a signal of your inner world. If you speak too quietly, you signal uncertainty. If you speak too loudly, you signal insecurity. If you speak too fast, you signal anxiety. But when you speak at a steady pace, with clear pronunciation and calm tone, you signal strength. You signal control. And control is attractive to powerful people. Even the way you introduce yourself matters. Don't give a long biography. Don't rush into explaining your entire story. Keep it simple. Say your name clearly. Give a short description of what you do, and then shift the focus toward them. Ask a thoughtful question, not a shallow one, not something they have answered 1,000 times. Ask something that shows awareness, something that shows you understand their world. Because the elite are tired of small talk. They respect depth. But do not confuse depth with trying to sound intellectual. You don't need big vocabulary. You need sharp thinking. Powerful people don't care if you sound like a professor. They care if you sound like a person who knows what they are doing. Clarity is more impressive than complexity. Another mistake people make is trying to win first impressions with humor. Humor is fine, but only when it is natural. Forced jokes make you look like you are trying too hard, and trying too hard is one of the fastest ways to lose respect. Powerful people can sense when you are performing. They want authenticity, not entertainment. And yes, your appearance matters. Not because it is everything, but because it shows discipline. Clean shoes, clean clothes, good hygiene, simple grooming, nothing extreme, nothing desperate. Just clean, sharp, and respectable. When you look like you respect yourself, people assume you will respect them too. And here is a powerful truth. You do not rise to the level of your ambition, you fall to the level of your standards. Powerful people are not impressed by your goals. They are impressed by your standards. If you cannot maintain small standards in your daily life, They will not trust you with big responsibilities. So your first impression is really your lifestyle showing up in one moment. If you are disorganized in life, you will appear disorganized in conversation. If you are careless with time, you will appear careless with energy. If you are constantly negative, it will show on your face. But if you are disciplined, calm, and purposeful, it will show without you even trying. This is why you must prepare long before the meeting happens. The elite can sense when you are ready. They can sense when you are serious. And one more thing, learn to leave a strong impression by knowing when to stop talking. Many people ruin first impressions by filling silence with useless words. They talk and talk because they are nervous. But powerful people admire someone who can speak, make a point, and then pause. Silence shows confidence. Silence shows control. Silence shows that you are not afraid of the moment. So don't try to impress, express. Be clear, be calm, be present, be respectful, and be brief. Because the goal of a first impression is not to make them fall in love with you. The goal is to make them feel safe around you, to make them feel that you are stable, that you are competent, that you are not a liability, that you are not chaotic, that you are someone who can be trusted with bigger conversations. And if you can master that, you will notice something interesting. Powerful people will start leaning in. They will start listening. They will start asking you questions. They will start giving you time. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. Remember this law. The first impression is not the moment you meet them. It is the moment they decide whether you deserve a second meeting. So walk into every room like you belong there, not with arrogance, not with ego, but with quiet certainty. Because when you master the art of first impressions, you don't have to chase respect. Respect finds you first.
Chapter 4. Learn to speak like a person of power. The way you speak is not just communication, it is positioning. It tells people where you belong in life. It tells them how you see yourself. It tells them whether you are confident, uncertain, disciplined, or unstable. And if you want to connect with powerful people, you must understand this: powerful people listen differently. They don't just listen to what you say, they listen to how you say it. They listen for clarity. They listen for maturity. They listen for self-control. Because in their world, words are not entertainment. Words are decisions. Words are contracts. Words are responsibility. So if you want access to powerful circles, you must learn to speak like someone who belongs in powerful circles. Now, speaking like a person of power does not mean speaking loudly. It does not mean using complicated vocabulary. It does not mean trying to sound like a politician or a motivational speaker. Real power is often quiet. Real power is direct. Real power is simple. The first thing you must remove from your speech is weakness language. Weakness language is not about being polite. It is about constantly shrinking yourself. It is the habit of apologizing too much, over-explaining, or adding unnecessary words to soften your point. Phrases like, "I'm not sure, but," or "maybe this is a dumb question," or "sorry to bother you," might seem harmless, but they train people to see you as unsure of yourself. And powerful people do not invest in uncertainty. Confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is not arrogance. Confidence is clarity. Instead of saying, "I think maybe we should possibly do this," say, "Here's what I recommend." Instead of saying, "I don't know if this will work," say, "This could work if we do it this way." Strong communication is not about pretending you know everything. It is about speaking with structure, speaking with intention, speaking like you've thought it through. The elite admire people who can express ideas cleanly. They don't have patience for rambling. They don't have patience for Romano. They don't have patience for emotional storytelling that goes nowhere. They want direction. They want a point. They want to understand quickly. That's why you must learn to speak in straight lines, not circles. If you want to sound powerful, you must learn to pause. Most people fear silence. They rush to fill gaps because they feel awkward. But a person of power is comfortable with silence. Silence gives weight to words. Silence shows you are thinking. Silence shows you are not desperate for approval. And powerful people respect that. So slow down. Speak slower than you normally would. Not painfully slow, but controlled, calm, steady. When you speak slowly, you automatically sound more confident. You sound more certain. You sound like someone who is used to being heard. And here's another rule. Stop trying to impress with information. Impress with insight. A powerful person does not care that you know 10 facts. They care that you understand one truth. They care that you can see the big picture. They care that you can connect ideas. They care that you can solve problems. This is why the elite often prefer a person who speaks less, but speaks wisely. If you want to be respected, learn to say fewer words with more meaning. Also, never underestimate the power of asking intelligent questions. Many people think influence comes from talking, but in high-level rooms, influence often comes from listening and asking the right question at the right time. A strong question makes you look sharp. It makes you look thoughtful. It makes you look like someone who understands what matters. Instead of asking, "How did you become successful?" ask, "What decision changed everything for you?" Instead of asking, "What advice do you have for me?" ask, "What mistakes do you see young people repeating in this industry?" These questions show depth, and depth earns attention. Now let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes people make around powerful individuals. They overtalk. They tell their whole life story. They explain their struggles. They share every detail. They think vulnerability will build connection. But too much talking too soon does the opposite. It creates emotional weight. It makes the interaction feel heavy. And powerful people avoid heavy people. Speak with purpose. Speak with control. When you communicate with powerful people, you must remember that your goal is not to be entertaining. Your goal is to be respected. And respect is built through maturity. Maturity means you know when to speak, what to say, and when to stop. Another important skill is removing emotional reactions from your voice. Powerful people do not like unpredictable energy. If your voice rises too much, if you get too excited, if you appear too nervous, it signals instability. You don't have to be robotic. You don't have to be cold, but you must be grounded. A grounded voice makes people feel safe, and safety creates trust. Also, stop gossiping. Never gossip in front of powerful people, even if you think it makes you look informed, even if you think it makes you look connected. Gossip is poison in high-level circles, because if you speak about others behind their back, powerful people assume you will speak about them too, and the elite are obsessed with reputation. They protect their reputation like their life depends on it. So if you want their trust, your mouth must be clean. If you want to be seen as powerful, become known as discreet. And let's talk about another habit. Stop complaining. Complaining is one of the fastest ways to lose respect. Complaining signals weakness, victimhood, and emotional immaturity. Powerful people don't mind hearing about problems, but they only respect people who bring solutions. They want someone who says, "Here's the issue, and here's what I suggest." That is a powerful voice. That is leadership language. Leadership language is calm, clear, and solution-driven. One of the most important traits of a powerful communicator is certainty. Certainty does not mean you are always right. Certainty means you stand firmly behind your words. You don't contradict yourself every minute. You don't speak like you're afraid of being judged. You speak like someone who respects their own opinion. And when you respect your own opinion, others start respecting it too. So practice this. Practice speaking with confidence in daily life. Speak clearly when ordering food. Speak clearly when making decisions. Speak clearly when you say no. Because powerful speech is not something you turn on in front of important people. It is something you build through repetition. Your voice is a muscle. Your confidence is a skill. Your communication is a weapon. And when you learn to speak like a person of power, you don't need to beg for attention. People naturally listen, because the elite are always searching for people who sound like leaders, not followers. People who sound like builders, not beggars. People who speak with strength, not insecurity. So remember this law: if you want powerful connections, you must become a powerful communicator. Speak less, but speak better. Speak calmly, but speak clearly. Speak with confidence, but without arrogance. And when you do, you will notice something remarkable. Powerful people will begin to treat you differently. They will stop seeing you as someone who wants something, and they will start seeing you as someone who belongs. Chapter 5. Build reputation in rooms you're not in. If you want to connect with powerful people, you must understand that your reputation will always arrive before you do. Long before someone shakes your hand, long before you get invited to the meeting, long before you get introduced into a high-level circle, people have already heard something about you. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad. Maybe it's unclear. But one thing is certain: in the world of the elite, your name is never neutral. Powerful people don't just judge you based on your personality. They judge you based on your reputation, because reputation is the shortcut they use to decide whether you are safe, reliable, and worth their time. And in their world, time is not just money. Time is power. That is why this law is critical. Build reputation in rooms you're not in. You must realize something. Powerful people do not connect with strangers the way average people do. They don't take risks on random individuals. They don't gamble their time on someone just because they seem nice. They want proof. They want references. They want signals that you are solid. And those signals usually come from other people. So the real question is not, how do I meet powerful people? The real question is, what are people saying about me when I'm not around? Because the elite don't just trust what they see, they trust what they hear from trusted sources. Their network is like a private security system. If someone is unreliable, disrespectful, disloyal, or unstable, word spreads quickly. And if someone is disciplined, trustworthy, and consistent, word spreads even faster. Reputation is the invisible resume of your character. And the best part is, you are building your reputation every single day, whether you realize it or not. Every interaction is a vote. Every promise you keep is a vote. Every time you show up late is a vote. Every time you talk behind someone's back is a vote. Every time you handle pressure with calmness is a vote. Every time you make excuses is a vote. Over time, those votes become your identity. Now, many people think reputation is built through public image. They think it's about looking good online. They think it's about having followers, being popular, posting achievements, or appearing successful. But powerful people are not fooled by appearances. They have seen too many fake success stories. Too many loud people with empty results. Too many confident talkers who collapse when responsibility arrives. The elite respect private character more than public performance. That is why reputation is not built by what you show. It is built by what you do when nobody is watching. How do you treat people who cannot benefit you? How do you behave when you're stressed? Do you keep your word even when it becomes inconvenient? Do you speak respectfully about others? Do you handle criticism like an adult? Or do you get emotional and defensive? These are the things that create the kind of reputation that travels into rooms you've never entered. And once your reputation travels, your access begins. Here is something important to understand. Powerful people do not want drama in their circle. Drama is expensive. Drama creates distraction. Drama creates risk. So they avoid people who carry messy energy. People who gossip. People who complain. People who constantly switch jobs, switch friends, switch goals. People who cannot be trusted with pressure. That is why your reputation must be built on stability. Be the person who is consistent. Be the person who is predictable in a good way. Not boring, but dependable. When you say you will do something, do it. When you commit, commit fully. When you make a promise, treat it like a contract. Because powerful people love people who reduce uncertainty. A stable person is a safe person, and safe people are invited. Another key to reputation is professionalism. Even if you are not in a corporate job, even if you are young, even if you are still building your life, you must behave like a professional. That means you respect time, you respect deadlines, you respect communication, you don't disappear without explanation, you don't act emotional when things go wrong, you don't make everything personal. Professionals don't create problems, professionals solve them, and if you become known as a problem solver, your name becomes valuable. You must also understand that reputation is built through how you treat small opportunities. Many people want big opportunities, but they fail the small ones. They want big connections, but they can't handle basic responsibility. They want powerful mentors, but they don't even show discipline in their own routine. Powerful people notice this. Even if they don't say anything, they notice. They notice how you treat waiters. They notice how you treat your co-workers. They notice how you speak to people who have less status than you, because if you disrespect those people, you will eventually disrespect everyone. And powerful people do not trust disrespectful individuals. They know disrespect is a sign of insecurity. So if you want a strong reputation, be respectful everywhere. And let's talk about loyalty. Loyalty is rare. Loyalty is priceless. In elite circles, loyalty is more valuable than talent, because talent can be found anywhere. Skill can be trained. Intelligence can be hired. But loyalty, real loyalty, is hard to find. And powerful people are always searching for someone who can be trusted when things get difficult. So protect people. Don't expose their weaknesses. Don't share their private conversations. Don't repeat what you hear. Don't chase attention by revealing information. Discretion is a form of power. If people know you are discreet, they feel safe around you. And when they feel safe, they open up, they share more, they invite you closer. But if you are known as someone who talks too much, your access will end before it begins. Also, never underestimate the power of doing excellent work. Excellence builds reputation faster than charm ever will. Powerful people may forget what you said, but they never forget the quality of your work. If you deliver something with high standards, if you go beyond expectations, if you take pride in details, people talk about you. They recommend you. They mention you. They say, that person is serious. And being serious is attractive to serious people. Now here is a mindset you must adopt. You must live as if someone important is always watching, not in a paranoid way, in a disciplined way, Live like your reputation is always being recorded, because it is. Every move you make is shaping how others describe you. And the truth is, you don't need to meet powerful people first. You need to build a reputation that reaches them first. When your reputation becomes strong enough, you won't have to force introductions. People will introduce you. People will recommend you. People will say, "You should meet this person." And that sentence is one of the most powerful sentences in the world, because it means your name has already passed the test. So remember this law. Don't just focus on the room you want to enter. Focus on the person you must become. Focus on being consistent. Focus on being reliable. Focus on being discreet. Focus on being excellent. Focus on being trustworthy. Because the elite don't connect with potential alone. They connect with proven character. And when your character becomes your reputation will open doors that your words never could. Chapter 6. Control your emotions like a professional. If you want to connect with powerful people, you must learn one of the most underrated skills in life: emotional control. Not emotional suppression. Not pretending you feel nothing. But emotional control. The ability to feel your emotions without being controlled by them. The ability to stay calm when others panic. The ability to stay respectful when others get offended. The ability to think clearly when life becomes chaotic. This skill alone can separate you from the average crowd, because powerful people are constantly watching for emotional stability. They don't want to build relationships with people who are unpredictable. They don't want to trust someone who reacts impulsively. They don't want someone who becomes defensive, angry, jealous, or insecure over small things. In their world, emotional instability is not just annoying, it is dangerous. That is why the elite respect calm people. Calm people create safety. Calm people create clarity. Calm people create confidence. And when someone feels calm in your presence, they naturally want to keep you close. Powerful people deal with enough pressure already. They don't need extra emotional drama. They don't need someone who constantly complains, argues, or takes everything personally. They need people who can handle pressure like adults. So here is the law. Control your emotions like a professional. A professional does not allow their feelings to control their behavior. A professional does not lash out because they are stressed. A professional does not destroy relationships because of ego. A professional does not lose composure because someone disagrees with them. A professional stays composed even when the situation becomes uncomfortable. And this is the truth. Your emotional control is your social power. Many people think power is money. Others think power is status. Others think power is intelligence. But emotional control is one of the highest forms of power because it makes you unshakable. If you can stay calm, you can think. If you can think, you can choose. If you can choose, you can lead. And leadership is what attracts high-level people. Powerful individuals respect people who don't fall apart. Now let's talk about the real enemy. Reacting. Reacting is automatic. Reacting is impulsive. Reacting is emotional. It is the behavior of someone who has no inner control. And people who react too much always lose respect. They may win arguments, but they lose relationships. They may feel powerful for a moment, but they destroy trust long-term. Powerful people do not react quickly. They respond wisely. That's a major difference. Reaction is emotional. Response is intentional. Reaction is driven by ego. Response is driven by discipline. Reaction is short-term. Response is long-term. And the elite always think long-term. So when you are criticized, don't explode. When you are ignored, don't chase. When you are disrespected, don't become childish. When you feel jealous, don't become bitter. When you feel offended, don't become emotional. Instead, pause, breathe, observe, think, and then respond with control. That pause alone is a sign of maturity. A powerful person can sense who is emotionally mature within minutes. They can see it in the way you handle small pressure. They can see it in the way you respond when plans change. They can see it in the way you speak about failure. They can see it in the way you handle rejection. And once they sense emotional maturity, they feel comfortable around you. They feel like you can be trusted with bigger responsibilities. Because emotional maturity means you won't create chaos. Now here is an important truth. Emotional control is not built in big moments. It is built in daily life. It is built in traffic. It is built in disagreements. It is built when someone cuts you off. It is built when your phone battery dies. It is built when things don't go your way. Every small moment is training your nervous system. Every small moment is either making you stronger or making you weaker. So if you want to be respected by powerful people, start training yourself in small situations. Practice patience. Practice calmness. Practice not responding immediately. Practice listening without interrupting. Practice keeping your voice steady even when you disagree. These habits build the emotional discipline of a leader. Another thing you must learn is how to control ego. Ego is one of the biggest destroyers of powerful relationships. Ego makes you want to prove yourself. Ego makes you want to win every conversation. Ego makes you want to respond when someone challenges you. Ego makes you want to show people they are wrong. But powerful people don't respect ego-driven individuals because ego is unstable. Ego is sensitive. And powerful people don't have time for conflict. If you want to build elite connections, you must learn to let small things go. You must learn to stop fighting for attention. Stop fighting for validation. Stop fighting to be right. Powerful people are not impressed by someone who always needs to dominate. They are impressed by someone who is secure enough to stay calm. Remember, real confidence does not need to argue. Also, learn to control your emotional storytelling. Some people meet powerful individuals and immediately begin telling them about their struggles. They share personal pain, family problems, and emotional drama. They think it builds connection, but it doesn't. It creates emotional weight. Powerful people don't want emotional weight from strangers. They may sympathize, but they will not invite you closer, because emotional instability signals risk. Instead, speak with strength. Speak with solutions. Speak with maturity. You can be honest without being emotional. You can share your story without sounding broken. You can be real without sounding like a victim. The elite respect people who have been through hardship but did not become bitter. Now let's talk about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence means you can read the room. You can sense when to speak and when to stay silent. You can sense when a person is busy and when they are open. You can sense when humor is appropriate and when seriousness is needed. Emotional intelligence is not manipulation. It is awareness. It is sensitivity to the atmosphere. And powerful people admire people who are socially aware. If you walk into a room and you are too loud, too energetic, too dramatic, you make yourself look uncontrolled. But when you walk in calm, when you match the environment, when you speak with timing, people notice your maturity. They may not compliment you, but they respect it. And respect is what creates access. Now understand this clearly. Emotional control does not mean you never feel anger, frustration, or disappointment. It means you don't let those emotions decide your actions. It means you don't destroy your future because of a temporary feeling. That is what powerful people do. They protect their future. So if you want to be close to them, you must also protect your future. You must become the kind of person who doesn't react impulsively. The kind of person who stays calm under pressure. The person who doesn't collapse under criticism. The kind of person who can handle responsibility without emotional breakdowns. Because the elite don't want more problems. They want more stability. And if you can bring stability, you will be welcomed. So remember this law. Control your emotions like a professional. Train your patience. Train your calmness. Train your discipline. Because when you become emotionally stable, you become rare, and rare people attract powerful people. Not because they beg for attention, but because they carry strength. Chapter 7. Understand the psychology of status and respect. If you want to build real connections with powerful people, you must understand something that many people ignore. Status is always present. Even when nobody talks about it. Even when everyone pretends it doesn't matter. In every room, there is an invisible hierarchy. Some people lead the energy, some people follow it. Some people command attention without asking. Some people struggle to be noticed even when they speak. This is not about arrogance. It is not about superiority. It is human nature. And the elite understand this nature better than anyone else. They understand that respect is not given randomly. Respect is earned through behavior, confidence, competence, and the way you carry yourself. So here is the law. Understand the psychology of status and respect. Now, let's make this clear. Status is not always money. Status is not always fame. Status is influence. It is how people respond to you. It is how seriously people take you. It is whether your presence feels strong or weak. It is whether people feel you are valuable or replaceable. And powerful people are extremely aware of status signals, because status signals help them decide who is worth trusting. This is why some people can walk into a room and instantly be treated with respect, while others can walk into the same room and be ignored. The difference is not luck. The difference is the signals they send, their posture, their eye contact, their voice, their confidence, their calmness, their self-control, their ability to speak clearly, their ability to listen, their ability to be comfortable in silence. The elite read these signals like a language, and you must learn to speak that language if you want to belong in their world. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to gain respect through approval-seeking behavior. They laugh too hard at jokes. They agree with everything. They nod constantly. They compliment excessively. They act like fans, and they think this will make them likable. But in the world of power, this behavior creates the opposite effect. It makes you look lower status. It makes you look like someone who needs acceptance, and powerful people do not respect people who need acceptance. That doesn't mean you should be rude. That doesn't mean you should act cold. It means you must stop trying to be chosen. Instead, carry yourself like someone who already chooses their own standards. Powerful people respect people who have boundaries, people who can say no, people who are polite but firm, people who don't become emotional when rejected, because boundaries signal self-worth. Another major status signal is how you treat yourself. Do you take yourself seriously? Do you show discipline in your habits? Do you speak confidently about your work? Do you carry pride in your standards? Or do you constantly put yourself down, talk about your problems, and act like life is unfair? Powerful people respect people who respect themselves. That's why self-respect is one of the strongest social weapons you can develop. When you respect yourself, you naturally stop begging. You naturally stop chasing. You naturally stop proving. You become calm. You become selective. And that calmness makes people curious. It makes them wonder what you know, what you've built, what you've experienced. Weak people try to be accepted. Strong people create curiosity. Now, let's talk about the psychology of respect. Respect is not emotional. Respect is logical. People respect competence. People respect courage. People respect consistency. People respect someone who can do what others cannot do. People respect someone who keeps their word. People respect someone who stays calm when others panic. These traits signal strength, and strength always earns respect. So if you want respect, stop asking for it. Build the traits that naturally create it. Powerful people also respect people who don't compete for attention. This is important. Many people walk into a room and immediately start trying to dominate. They talk too much. They interrupt. They tell stories. They try to show off. They try to prove their importance. But real high-status individuals don't fight for attention. They don't need to. Their presence already carries weight. So if you want to gain respect in powerful circles, don't try to win the room. Learn to hold your position calmly. Sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one who speaks the least. Not because they have nothing to say, but because they don't need to perform. They are comfortable, they are secure, they know their value, and security is a status signal. Another important status principle is this: powerful people respect people who are not easily impressed. Not in a disrespectful way, but in a mature way. If you meet someone successful and you behave like you've never seen success before, it lowers your position. It makes you look like you are outside of that world. But if you can meet them with calm energy, with normal conversation, with steady confidence, you signal that you are familiar with high standards. That doesn't mean you should act arrogant. It means you should act grounded. You can admire someone without worshipping them. Now, there is a difference between status and arrogance. Arrogance is insecurity, pretending to be confidence. Arrogance tries to dominate others. Arrogance talks down to people. Arrogance is loud, but real status is quiet. Real status is respectful. Real status does not need to prove itself. The elite can sense arrogance instantly. They avoid arrogant people because arrogant people are unstable. They create conflict. They create ego battles. They create drama. Powerful people don't want ego wars. They want progress. So your goal is not to act superior. Your goal is to act solid. One of the most powerful ways to earn respect is through emotional independence. Emotional independence means you don't need constant validation. You don't need compliments to feel confident. You don't need attention to feel important. You don't need approval to keep moving. You can stand alone and still feel strong, and that is rare. Most people are emotionally dependent. They change their behavior based on how others treat them. They become excited when praised and depressed when ignored. They become confident when liked and insecure when criticized. But powerful people respect those who remain steady no matter what. Consistency is status. Another key point: respect is also built through competence and results. Powerful people don't care about your potential. They care about your proof. They care about what you can do. They care about whether you are useful. That is why skill building is so important. A person with real skill carries quiet authority. Even if they are young, they are respected. Even if they are unknown, they are valued. So if you want to raise your status, don't focus on popularity. Focus on capability. Become so good at what you do that people feel your value without needing an explanation. And finally, understand this: powerful people respect people who respect the room. That means you know how to behave, you know how to dress appropriately, you know how to speak professionally, you know how to be polite without being weak, you know how to listen without being silent, you know how to carry confidence without being arrogant. This is the balance that separates the elite from the average. So remember this law: learn the psychology of status and respect. Stop chasing approval. Stop trying to impress. Stop lowering yourself to be liked. Build competence. Build confidence. Build confidence. Build boundaries. Because when you understand status, you stop playing the wrong game. You stop begging for attention. You stop trying to be invited. And you become the kind of person people naturally respect. And once you have respect, connections become easy. Because powerful people don't connect with everyone. They connect with those who carry strength. Chapter 8. Learn the skill of strategic listening. If you want to connect with powerful people, you must stop thinking that influence comes from talking. In lower-level conversations, people compete to speak. They compete to tell stories. They compete to prove their intelligence. But in high-level circles, the real power often belongs to the person who listens the best. Because listening is not passive. Listening is a skill. Listening is a strategy. Listening is a form of leadership. Powerful people spend their life surrounded by noise. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has advice. Everyone wants to be heard. That is why a person who truly listens feels rare. It feels refreshing. It feels safe. And safety is the foundation of connection. So here is the law. Learn the skill of strategic listening. Strategic listening means you don't just hear words. You hear meaning. You hear intention. You hear what the person is not saying. You notice tone. You notice emotion. You notice hesitation. You notice patterns. You don't just wait for your turn to speak. You focus completely. And when you focus completely, the other person can feel it. And when powerful people feel that you are fully present, they begin to respect you. Most people listen only to respond. They are not really listening. They are preparing their next sentence. They are planning how to impress. They are thinking about what story they can tell. But powerful people can sense this immediately. They can sense when someone is half listening. And when they sense that, they lose interest. Because they are not looking for attention seekers. They are looking for maturity. Strategic listening is maturity. It is also one of the fastest ways to become memorable. Because people forget what you said, but they never forget how you made them feel. And when you listen deeply, you make someone feel important. You make them feel respected. You make them feel understood. That feeling creates connection faster than compliments ever could. Now listen carefully. Powerful people are often lonely at the top, not because they lack people around them, but because they lack people who truly understand them. Many people are around them for benefits, but very few are around them for genuine connection. So when a powerful person meets someone who listens without hidden agendas, something shifts. Their guard comes down. Their energy relaxes. They begin to open up. And that is where real relationships begin. Strategic listening also gives you an advantage because it helps you learn quickly. When you listen, you gain information. You gain insight. You gain insight. You gain understanding. And information is power. If you know what someone values, what they fear, what they want, and what problems they are facing, you can position yourself wisely, not in a manipulative way, but in a useful way. Because if you truly understand a person, you can serve them better, you can communicate better, you can offer value better. And powerful people respect those who understand them. So don't rush to speak. Let them speak. There is a reason powerful people often test others by staying quiet. Silence is a test. When you are silent, The other person reveals themselves. They reveal whether they are insecure. They reveal whether they are desperate. They reveal whether they are trying to impress. They reveal whether they are disciplined. A person who cannot handle silence cannot handle power. So learn to sit in silence without panic. Learn to pause before responding. Learn to breathe. Learn to reflect. When you respond too quickly, you often respond too quickly. You often respond emotionally. But when you pause, you respond intelligently. And intelligent responses create respect. Now, strategic listening is not just nodding your head. It is asking follow-up questions. It is repeating key points back to the person in your own words. It is showing that you truly understand. It is saying things like, "That's interesting, so what you're saying is," or "It sounds like the real challenge is." These phrases show depth. They show awareness. And awareness is attractive to powerful people because awareness is rare. Many people are mentally lazy. They hear, but they don't process. They listen, but they don't understand. They react, but they don't reflect. But the elite admire those who think deeply, those who can absorb information, those who can see what matters. Another powerful skill is listening for priorities. When powerful people speak, they often reveal what matters most to them. It could be time, it could be legacy, it could be efficiency, it could be family, it could be growth, it could be control. If you listen carefully, you can identify their priorities. And once you know their priorities, you know how to communicate with them, because people connect with those who speak their language. If someone values time, don't waste their time. If someone values loyalty, show loyalty. If someone values efficiency, be direct. If someone values excellence, bring high standards. Strategic listening allows you to adapt without pretending. It allows you to align without being fake. That is how you build strong relationships. But you must also be careful. Strategic listening is not about becoming a silent shadow. You still need to speak. You still need to contribute. The goal is balance. Listen more than you speak. But when you speak, make it meaningful. Make it sharp. Make it relevant. A person who talks too much looks insecure. A person who never talks looks unconfident. But a person who listens deeply and speaks wisely looks powerful. Powerful people respect wisdom more than words. And one more thing, strategic listening includes listening to the environment, not just the person. It means noticing the mood of the room, noticing who is respected, noticing who is being ignored, noticing the pace of the conversation, noticing when it is time to speak and when it is time to stay quiet. Social awareness is a form of intelligence, and powerful people value intelligence because intelligence reduces risk. Now here is a truth that can change your entire approach. Powerful people are not impressed by the person who talks the most. They are impressed by the person who understands the most. So become the person who understands. When you listen strategically, you build trust. When you build trust, you build connection. And when you build connection, you build access. Because people don't open doors for those who speak loudly. They open doors for those who make them feel safe, respected, and understood. So remember this law. Learn the skill of strategic listening. Slow down. Be present. Ask better questions. Let silence work for you. Let people reveal themselves. Let them feel heard. Because the person who listens with depth is not just building relationships. They are building influence. And influence is what attracts the elite. Chapter 9. Position yourself where opportunity lives. If you want to build connections with powerful people, you must stop believing that success is only about talent. Talent matters, yes. Discipline matters even more. But there is another factor that quietly shapes almost every successful life. Positioning. Where you place yourself determines what you are exposed to. What you are exposed to determines what you learn. What you learn determines what you become, and what you become determines who you meet. This is why powerful people rarely accidentally become powerful. They position themselves where growth is normal. They position themselves where high standards are expected. They position themselves where opportunity is circulating. So here is the law. Position yourself where opportunity lives. Many people spend their entire life surrounded by the same environment, the same conversations, the same limited thinking, and then they wonder why nothing changes. They live in places where nobody dreams big, where nobody builds, where nobody invests, where nobody talks about progress. They spend time with people who complain about life, but never improve their life. They consume information that keeps them entertained, but never strengthens them. And then they say, "I'm unlucky." But luck is often location. Luck is often proximity. Luck is often being close enough to the right people, the right ideas, and the right opportunities. Powerful people understand this deeply. That is why they move differently. They go where the best conversations are happening. They go where the smartest minds gather. They go where the ambitious people work. They go where industries are growing. They go where money is moving. They go where innovation is alive. They do not wait for opportunity to come to their house. They go out and stand where opportunity passes by. And that is exactly what you must learn to do. Now, positioning is not only physical. Yes, it can be physical. It can mean moving to a better city, attending better events, joining higher-level communities, working in better companies, or placing yourself in industries that offer growth. But positioning is also mental and digital. It's the books you read, the mentors you follow, the content you consume, the standards you accept, the conversations you participate in. Your environment is your invisible teacher. If your environment teaches you laziness, you will become lazy. If your environment teaches you excuses, you will become full of excuses. But if your environment teaches you discipline, focus, ambition, and high standards, you will naturally rise. This is why powerful people protect their environment like a treasure. They know that what surrounds them shapes them, and they know that weak environments create weak people. So ask yourself honestly, where are you spending your time? Where are you placing your energy? Are you in rooms that challenge you, or rooms that comfort you? Are you around people who build, or people who complain? Are you around people who talk about growth, or people who talk about gossip? Because your future is hidden inside your surroundings. If you want to meet powerful people, you must go where powerful people naturally exist. They exist in environments of growth. They exist around business, leadership, innovation, finance, education, and progress. They exist at conferences. They exist at seminars. They exist at charity events. They exist in professional circles. They exist in high-performance communities. They exist in places where serious people gather. And you don't have to be rich to enter those spaces. You just have to be intentional. Start attending events related to your industry. Start joining professional communities. Start taking courses where ambitious people show up. Start engaging in conversations online where serious people discuss real topics. Start connecting with people who are building something, even if you are not fully established yet. Positioning yourself in those environments will raise your standards, and once your standards rise, your life changes. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until they feel ready before entering better rooms. They think they need to be perfect first. They think they need more confidence first. They think they need more success first. But the truth is, the room is what shapes you. Being around higher-level people forces you to improve. It forces you to upgrade your mindset. It forces you to sharpen your communication. It forces you to raise your discipline. The room will challenge you. The room will stretch you. The room will expose your weaknesses. And that is good, because growth does not happen where you feel comfortable. Growth happens where you feel slightly out of place. Not humiliated, but challenged. That feeling is a sign that you are expanding. That feeling is a sign that you are upgrading your identity. Powerful people understand this. That's why they never stay in environments that make them lazy. Now let's talk about digital positioning. In today's world, you can be in the right room without physically being there. Your online presence is a room. Your social media profile is a room. Your content is a room. Your comments are a room. Your personal brand is a room. Powerful people may never meet you physically, but they may see your name online. They may read what you post. They may notice how you communicate. They may observe your mindset, and based on that, they decide whether you are worth connecting with. So position yourself online like a professional. Don't post chaos. Don't post emotional drama. Don't post negativity. Don't post things that destroy trust. Build a digital identity that signals discipline, clarity, growth, and maturity. Share useful ideas, share lessons, share value. Show that you are building something. Show that you are improving. Because your digital presence can become a bridge to powerful people if it reflects strength. And here is another secret. Powerful people don't always connect directly with you first. Sometimes they connect through your work. They see your writing. They see your content. They see your skills. They see your results. And then they become curious. Curiosity creates connection. So ask yourself, what are you putting into the world that creates curiosity? What are you building that makes people notice? What value are you sharing that makes people say, who is this person? This is positioning. Another important part of positioning is leaving environments that are pulling you down. Sometimes the greatest move you can make is not adding something new. It is removing something toxic. Removing distractions. Removing negative friends. Removing habits that keep you weak. Removing environments that normalize mediocrity. Because you cannot rise in a place that celebrates your laziness. If you want powerful connections, you must become a powerful version of yourself. And that begins with placing yourself in environments that demand excellence. So remember this law. Position yourself where opportunity lives. Go where the right conversations happen. Go where ambition is normal. Go where high standards are expected. Go where discipline is respected. Because powerful people don't magically appear in your life. They appear when your environment starts matching your future. And once you are positioned correctly, the right people will start noticing you. The right doors will start opening. The right opportunities will start showing up. Not because you got lucky, but because you finally placed yourself where luck can find you. Chapter 10. Earn access through consistency, not charisma. Many people believe that powerful connections are built through charm. They think if they can become more charismatic, more entertaining, more confident in conversation, then influential people will automatically like them. And yes, charisma can open a door. It can create a quick impression. It can make someone smile. It can make you memorable for a moment. But charisma does not build trust. Consistency builds trust. Powerful people have met countless charismatic individuals. They've met smooth talkers, confident speakers, and people who can light up a room with personality. But they have also seen something again and again. Many charismatic people are unstable. They are inconsistent. They are unreliable. They show up strong in the beginning and disappear when responsibility arrives. That is why the elite do not invest in charisma alone. They invest in consistency. So here is the law. Earn access through consistency, not charisma. Consistency is what separates serious people from dreamers. Consistency is what proves you are disciplined. It proves you are stable. It proves you can be trusted. And trust is the true gateway to powerful relationships. Powerful people don't give access to those who impress them for one day. They give access to those who prove themselves over time, because time reveals character. Anyone can look strong for a week. Anyone can act motivated for a month. Anyone can speak confidently in one conversation, but only a disciplined person can keep showing up, keep improving, and keep delivering results without needing constant praise. And powerful people respect that deeply. If you want to build a relationship with someone influential, don't focus on being memorable once. Focus on being reliable always. Show up when you say you will. Follow through. Keep your promises. Respond on time. Deliver what you said you would deliver, even when you don't feel like it. Even when you don't feel like it. Even when you don't get immediate recognition. Because the elite admire people who don't need applause to perform. This is why consistency is one of the greatest social strengths you can develop. It creates a reputation of dependability. It tells people, this person is solid, and when you are solid, you become safe. And when you are safe, powerful people become comfortable around you. Comfort is connection. Now let's talk about why consistency matters so much. Powerful people are constantly surrounded by uncertainty. Markets change. Businesses rise and fall. People betray. Deals collapse. Plans break. They deal with unpredictability every day. So when they find someone consistent, it feels like relief. It feels like stability in a chaotic world. And that is why consistent people become valuable. Even if you are not the most talented person, consistency can make you unstoppable. Because talent without consistency is wasted potential. But consistency builds momentum. It builds skill. It builds confidence. It builds results. And results are what powerful people respect. So stop trying to be impressive. Start trying to be dependable. Many people make the mistake of trying to win powerful people with energy. They show excitement, big talk, big promises, big ideas. But powerful people are not impressed by big promises. They are impressed by quiet delivery. They are impressed by someone who says less and does more. In fact, one of the fastest ways to lose respect is to overpromise and underdeliver. That one habit destroys trust instantly. Powerful people do not tolerate unreliable individuals because unreliability creates risk, and risk is expensive. So if you want to build trust, become someone who underpromises and overdelivers. That is a powerful principle. Don't promise the world. Promise something small and do it perfectly. Promise something simple and deliver it early. Promise something realistic and make it excellent. That is how you build credibility. That is how you build a reputation. That is how you build trust. Because trust is built in small moments. It is built in whether you respond when you said you would. It is built in whether you show up prepared. It is built in whether you respect their time. It is built in whether you remember details. It is built in whether you keep things private. It is built in whether you stay loyal when nobody is forcing you to. And over time, these small moments become a powerful pattern. A pattern is what the elite pay attention to. Powerful people don't just look at your personality, they look at your pattern. Your pattern shows them who you truly are. Your pattern reveals whether you are disciplined or emotional, whether you are stable or impulsive, whether you are serious or temporary. And powerful people do not build relationships with temporary people. They build relationships with long-term people. Now understand this: consistency does not mean being perfect. It means being steady. It means even when you fail, you return. Even when you struggle, you keep moving. Even when you lose momentum, you rebuild it. Consistency is not about never falling. It is about always getting back up. That resilience is attractive to powerful people, because powerful people respect fighters. They respect people who don't collapse. They respect people who don't disappear when life becomes difficult. They respect people who keep their standards even under pressure. Now let's talk about charisma again. Charisma is useful, but it is not the foundation. Charisma can make someone notice you. Consistency makes them keep you. Charisma may open the first conversation. Consistency earns the second conversation. Charisma might earn a handshake. Consistency earns a seat at the table. This is the difference. Powerful relationships are not built in one moment. They are built through repeated proof. So instead of trying to impress powerful people with your words, impress them with your habits. Let them see your discipline. Let them see your work ethic. Let them see your improvement. Let them see that you are the kind of person who shows up again and again, stronger each time. Because powerful people admire progress, and progress is created by consistency. Also, consistency makes you emotionally stable. It makes you less needy. It makes you less desperate. When you are consistent, you start trusting yourself. You start respecting yourself. And when you respect yourself, you stop begging for attention. You stop chasing validation. You stop trying to force relationships. You simply become, and that becoming is what attracts the elite. So here is your challenge. Stop chasing charisma. Stop trying to be a performer. Stop trying to be the most entertaining person in the room. Instead, become the most reliable person in the room. Become the person who delivers. Become the person who keeps their word. Become the person who doesn't break under pressure. Because the elite don't build relationships based on excitement. They build relationships based on trust, and trust is built through consistency. So remember this law: earn access through consistency, not charisma. Show up, deliver, improve, repeat, and over time, your consistency will speak louder than any personality ever could. That is how the elite choose who stays close, not by charm, but by proof. Chapter 11. Learn to add value without talking about it. If you want to build connections with powerful people, you must learn one of the most rare and respected skills in the world, the ability to add value quietly. No announcements, no bragging, no self-promotion, no constant reminders of what you did. Just results, just contribution, just impact. This is important because powerful people have seen enough talkers. They have seen people who love attention, people who love credit, people who love being seen as important. And after a while, the elite develop a strong dislike for people who always need recognition. Not because recognition is wrong, but because the need for recognition often comes from insecurity. And insecurity is expensive. So here is the law: learn to add value without talking about it. In high-level circles, the loudest person is rarely the most respected. The most respected person is usually the one who produces results without making noise. The one who shows up, handles business, improves the situation, and moves on. Powerful people trust those individuals because they know they are not driven by ego. They are driven by standards, and standards are rare. Many people think they must constantly advertise their skills in order to be noticed. They think they must talk about their accomplishments, their sacrifices, their hustle. But the truth is, the elite are not impressed by words. They are impressed by outcomes. In fact, the more someone talks about what they are going to do, the less serious they appear. Because serious people don't spend their energy describing their work. They spend their energy doing their work. The elite respect action more than explanation. So if you want powerful people to respect you, stop talking about your value and start demonstrating it. Let your results speak for you. Let your behavior communicate your level. Let your discipline show in the details. When you add value consistently, people will notice without you forcing them to. And here is something most people don't understand: real power is quiet. People who truly have influence don't need to announce their influence. People who truly have skill don't need to constantly remind others of their skill. People who truly have money don't need to constantly show it. People who truly have confidence don't need to constantly prove it. They simply live at that level. That is why the elite respect quiet competence. Quiet competence is attractive because it feels safe. It feels stable. It feels mature. Powerful people are always cautious about those who crave attention, because attention seekers often become unpredictable. They become emotional when they are not praised. They become resentful when they are not rewarded. They become bitter when someone else gets credit. And bitterness destroys relationships. So if you want to build strong connections, you must become a person who contributes without demanding applause. Now let's talk about what adding value really means. Adding value does not always mean doing something massive. It can be small but meaningful. It can mean showing up prepared. It can mean offering a smart idea at the right time. It can mean noticing a problem before anyone else notices it. It can mean giving a solution without being asked. It can mean saving time. It can mean improving efficiency. It can mean preventing mistakes. Powerful people love people who think ahead, because thinking ahead shows leadership. And when you add value quietly, you create a powerful effect. People begin to associate you with improvement. They begin to associate you with progress. They begin to feel that things go smoother when you are around. And once a powerful person feels that, they want you closer. Not because you begged for access, but because your presence makes their life better. That is how access is earned. But you must also learn a critical lesson. Value is not what you think is valuable. Value is what the other person needs. Many people offer the wrong kind of value because they are thinking about themselves. They offer what they want to give, not what is actually useful. So learn to observe. Observe what powerful people struggle with. Observe what frustrates them. Observe what slows them down. Observe what they complain about. Observe what they wish they had more of. Time, trust, execution, organization, focus, reliable people, better communication, stronger systems. If you can identify what they need, you can offer the right value. And the right value makes you unforgettable. Now, adding value quietly also requires humility. Humility does not mean thinking you are small. It means understanding that the mission is bigger than your ego. Humility means you are willing to do what needs to be done without needing a spotlight. Powerful people respect that because powerful people understand responsibility. They understand sacrifice. They understand what it means to do difficult work without praise. So if you want their respect, develop the same mindset. Also understand this: if you always talk about your contributions, you reduce their power. If you keep reminding people, I did this, I helped with that, I worked so hard, you start sounding like someone who is keeping score. And powerful people dislike scorekeepers, because scorekeepers are not loyal. They are transactional. They are always waiting to collect something. And powerful people don't build relationships with people who are always waiting to collect. The elite prefer people who give from strength, not from hunger. So if you help someone, help them cleanly. If you contribute, contribute fully. If you offer value, offer it with confidence, not with expectation. That energy makes you respected. Now let's be clear. Quiet value does not mean you allow people to take advantage of you. It does not mean you work for free forever. It does not mean you become invisible. It means you understand timing. It means you understand that reputation is built through contribution, not through advertisement. Once your reputation is built, your value will become known. And when your value becomes known, you won't need to speak about it. Others will speak about it for you. They will recommend you. They will introduce you. They will say your name in rooms you've never entered. And that is the highest form of influence. Because in powerful circles, the best marketing is someone else talking about you. That's why you must learn to become excellent at what you do. Excellence is the ultimate silent advertisement. When your work is excellent, it creates trust. When your work is excellent, it creates respect. When your work is excellent, it creates demand. And powerful people are always attracted to excellence. So stop trying to be seen as valuable. Start becoming valuable. Do your work with pride. Improve your skill. Strengthen your habits. Show up prepared. Deliver more than expected. Solve problems before they grow. Be calm. Be reliable. Be discreet. Be sharp. And let your results do the talking. Because when you add value without talking about it, you become rare. And rare people are always noticed by powerful people. Not because they beg for attention, but because they quietly earn it. Chapter 12. Build a circle before you try to join one. If you want to connect with powerful people, you must stop thinking like an outsider. Outsiders always beg to be included. Outsiders always chase invitations. Outsiders always feel like they need permission to belong. But powerful people don't build relationships with people who carry outsider energy. They build relationships with people who carry leadership energy. And leadership energy is simple. Leaders don't just join circles. Leaders build circles. So here is the law. Build a circle before you try to join one. This is one of the most important lessons in the entire audiobook because it changes the way you approach influence. Many people want to be connected to the elite because they believe the elite will change their life. They believe the right mentor, the right business partner, the right wealthy friend, or the right introduction will save them. But the elite do not want to save you. They want to work with you. They want to collaborate with you. They want to exchange value with you. And you cannot exchange value if you have nothing around you. A powerful person is attracted to someone who has their own world, their own projects, their own circle, their own momentum. Someone who is already building, someone who is already moving, someone who is already connected to other capable people. Because that signals something important. This person is not dependent, and dependency is unattractive. When you build your own circle, you shift your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a follower. You start seeing yourself as a builder. And builders naturally attract other builders. That is how elite networks are formed. They are not formed through begging. They are formed through alignment. Now let's be honest. Many people want to join powerful circles, but they have no circle of their own. They have no ambitious friends, no disciplined people around them, no growth-focused environment. They are surrounded by average thinking and average habits, and then they wonder why the elite do not take them seriously. Powerful people are careful about who they associate with. They know that your circle reveals your standards. Your circle reveals your mindset. Your circle reveals your future. So if your circle is weak, you look weak. That is why you must build your circle first. You must build relationships with people who are hungry, disciplined, focused, and improving. They don't need to be famous. They don't need to be rich. But they must have a growth mindset. They must have ambition. They must have standards. They must be building something. Because when you surround yourself with builders, you become stronger. And when you become stronger, powerful people become curious. You see, the elite don't just look at you. They look at what you represent. They look at what you are connected to. They look at what you are creating. They look at your influence. Even if it's small influence, they want to see that you can lead people, inspire people, organize people, and build something meaningful. So stop trying to look like someone who belongs in their world. Start creating a world that proves you belong. This is why building your circle is a form of leverage. When you have a circle, you are no longer asking for access. You are offering access. You are offering a network. You are offering collaboration. You are offering opportunities. And powerful people respect people who bring opportunities, not people who only ask for opportunities. Now here is a key point. Your circle does not need to be large. It needs to be strong. A circle of 5 disciplined people is more powerful than a circle of 50 lazy people. A circle of a few focused individuals can create more momentum than a crowd of distracted individuals. So choose quality over quantity. Build relationships with people who show up, people who keep their word, people who think about the future, people who take responsibility, people who don't complain all day, people who don't gossip, people who want to grow. These are the people you need around you, because your circle becomes your training ground. And once you build that training ground, you naturally develop higher-level habits. You start speaking differently. You start thinking differently. You start working differently. You start setting goals differently. And over time, you become a person who naturally fits into elite environments. This is how you rise without begging. Another important truth is this: powerful circles don't accept people who only want to consume. They accept people who contribute. If you want to join a high-level group, you must have something to bring. But if you build your own circle first, you practice contribution, you practice leadership, you practice organizing, you practice creating value, and that makes you qualified. This is why the elite respect people who can connect others. A connector is someone who introduces valuable people to each other. A connector is someone who brings solutions through relationships. A connector is someone who strengthens the network. Powerful people love connectors because connectors multiply opportunity. So become a connector. Instead of thinking, who can connect me? Start thinking, who can help me? Start thinking, who can help me? Start thinking, who can help me? This mindset shift turns you into a leader, and leaders attract powerful people naturally, because leaders are useful. Now building your circle also protects you. When you don't have a strong circle, you become desperate for connection. You start chasing anyone who seems important. You start lowering your standards. You start tolerating disrespect. You start forcing relationships that are not healthy. But when you have a strong circle, you are not desperate. You are selective. You are calm. You are stable. And powerful people respect stability. They can sense when you don't need them. And ironically, that is when they start wanting to know you. Also, your circle becomes your proof of social credibility. If respected people respect you, others will respect you too. This is how reputation spreads. This is how trust spreads. Powerful people trust what other capable people trust. So build trust with the people you can reach today. Don't wait until you meet the elite. Start building with the people around you right now. Build friendships with disciplined people. Build partnerships with ambitious people. Build communities with growth-minded individuals. Build a reputation in your local world first. Because when you become a leader in your small world, you earn the right to enter bigger worlds. That is how influence grows. So remember this law. Build a circle before you try to join one. Stop acting like an outsider. Stop chasing invitations. Stop begging for access. Start building something real. Start gathering disciplined people. Start creating a strong environment around you. Start becoming a connector. Start becoming a leader. Because the elite do not respect those who only want to enter the circle. They respect those who can build one. Chapter 13. Master the discipline of social intelligence. If you want to build connections with powerful people, you must understand that intelligence alone is not enough. Talent alone is not enough. Hard work alone is not enough. In elite circles, many people are talented. Many people are smart. Many people are hard-working. So what separates the few who rise from the many who remain invisible is something deeper and more subtle. Social intelligence is the ability to read the room, read the moment, and read the person. It is knowing what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. It is knowing when to speak and when silence is more powerful. It is understanding the emotional atmosphere and adapting without losing yourself. And powerful people value this skill because it makes life smoother. So here is the law. Master the discipline of social intelligence. Notice the word discipline. Social intelligence is not luck. It is not something you are born with. It is a skill you develop through observation and self-control. It is the ability to manage your energy, your words, and your behavior in a way that creates respect. And respect is the foundation of elite relationships. Many people destroy opportunities not because they are bad people, but because they are socially careless. They speak too much. They interrupt. They overshare personal details. They joke at the wrong time. They act overly familiar too soon. They try too hard to be liked. They talk about themselves constantly. They complain. They gossip. They get emotional. They show insecurity. They don't even realize they are doing it. But the elite notice. Powerful people are always watching behavior, because behavior reveals character. One of the first rules of social intelligence is understanding timing. Timing is everything. You may have a great idea, but if you bring it up at the wrong time, you will look out of place. You may have a good question, but if you ask it in a moment where the person is stressed or distracted, it will be ignored. You may want to connect, but if you approach someone when they are surrounded by pressure, you will feel like another burden. Socially intelligent people don't force moments. They choose moments. They wait for the right opening. They sense the flow. They sense when a person is relaxed, open, and available. They don't chase attention. They move with awareness. And powerful people respect that because it shows maturity. Another rule is understanding the energy you bring into a room. Every person brings energy. Some people bring calm energy. Some people bring anxious energy. Some people bring chaotic energy. Some people bring negative energy. Some people bring desperate energy. And powerful people can feel this immediately. They don't always analyze it logically, but they sense it emotionally. And they protect their environment. That is why social intelligence is about emotional control. If you walk into a room with nervous energy, trying too hard, seeking approval, you will be felt. If you walk into a room with calm energy, confident but respectful, you will also be felt. One energy repels, the other attracts. So the question is simple: what energy are you bringing? If you want powerful connections, bring stable energy. Bring professional energy. Bring respectful energy. Be elite don't want someone who makes the room louder. They want someone who makes the room better. Another major part of social intelligence is understanding social boundaries. Powerful people have boundaries. They don't share everything with everyone. They don't allow random people to become too close too quickly. And if you try to cross those boundaries too soon, you will be rejected. This is why you must learn the art of being friendly without being familiar. Be warm, but don't act like you are best friends. Be confident, but don't act entitled. Be respectful, but don't be submissive. That balance is rare, but if you can master it, you will be welcomed. Because powerful people respect people who understand social rules. One of the quickest ways to destroy respect is oversharing. Many people meet someone influential and immediately begin telling them their whole story. They talk about their struggles, their personal life, their emotional pain, their family problems. They think it creates bonding, but in elite circles, it often creates discomfort. Powerful people don't want emotional responsibility for someone they barely know. They may feel sympathy, but they will not feel connection. Social intelligence means you know what to keep private. Another part of social intelligence is knowing how to handle disagreement. Powerful people respect those who can disagree without being emotional. You don't need to always agree. In fact, blind agreement can make you look weak, but disagreement must be handled with respect. The elite admire people who can say, "I see your point, but here's another perspective," without turning it into an ego battle. Because ego battles are childish, and childish people are never trusted with power. Social intelligence also means understanding status without worshipping it. Powerful people can tell when someone is intimidated. They can tell when someone is trying to impress them. They can tell when someone is nervous. And that nervousness changes the dynamic. It puts them on a pedestal, and the elite don't want people around them who behave like fans. They want people who behave like professionals. So treat powerful people with respect, but not with fear. Respect is healthy. Fear is weakness. Now, another key discipline is learning what not to say. Socially intelligent people don't speak impulsively. They don't reveal everything they think. They don't make careless jokes. They don't make controversial comments just to sound bold. They don't talk about politics, religion, or personal opinions in a way that creates division. They understand that words have consequences. In powerful circles, one careless sentence can destroy years of opportunity. So you must become careful, not fake, but careful. Also, never underestimate the power of remembering details. Social intelligence means you listen and remember. You remember names. You remember what someone values. You remember their priorities. You remember what they mentioned last time. When you remember details, people feel respected. And powerful people notice that, because remembering is a form of loyalty. Now let's talk about humor. Humor is powerful, but it must be used wisely. Humor can build connection, but forced humor can destroy respect. Socially intelligent people know when humor fits the moment. They know when to keep things light and when to stay serious. They know when silence is more appropriate than jokes, because they respect the room. And that is what the elite admire. People who respect the room. People who don't hijack attention. People who don't create awkwardness. People who know how to blend confidence with awareness. That is social intelligence. And here is the truth. Social intelligence makes you powerful even without money, even without fame, even without status, because it allows you to move smoothly through life. It allows you to create trust quickly. It allows you to avoid mistakes that destroy relationships. So remember this law. Master the discipline of social intelligence. Read the room. Control your energy. Respect boundaries. Speak with timing. Stay calm. Stay discreet. Handle disagreement with maturity. Don't overshare. Don't gossip. Don't chase attention. Because powerful people don't just look for talent. They look for people who can behave like they belong. And social intelligence is the skill that proves you do. Chapter 14. Become the person people trust with opportunities. If you want real connections with powerful people, you must understand one thing clearly. Powerful people do not hand out opportunities casually. They protect opportunities like treasure. They protect introductions. They protect partnerships. They protect investments. They protect information. Because in their world, one wrong decision can cost them years of work, millions of dollars, and a reputation that took decades to build. So when they give someone an opportunity, they are not just giving them a chance. They are taking a risk. That is why the elite don't ask, "Is this person talented?" first. They ask, "Can I trust this person?" Because talent without trust is dangerous. Skill without character is a liability. Intelligence without integrity becomes a threat. So here is the law. Become the person people trust with opportunities. Opportunities are not given to the most desperate person. They are given to the safest person. They are given to the most reliable person. The person who will not embarrass them. The person who will not waste the chance. The person who will not become emotional under pressure. The person who will not talk too much. The person who will not betray confidence. Trust is the real gatekeeper of elite access. And trust is built in small moments, long before big opportunities appear. Many people think trust is built through big promises. They think they must convince someone with words. They say, "I'll work hard. I'll do anything. I'll prove myself." But powerful people have heard those words too many times. They don't believe words. They believe patterns. So the question is not what you promise. The question is what you consistently demonstrate. Do you show up on time? Do you follow through? Do you keep your word? Do you respect deadlines? Do you handle feedback maturely? Do you remain calm when things go wrong? Do you take responsibility when you make mistakes? These are the habits that build trust. And trust is what makes powerful people comfortable, giving you access. Because when they trust you, they don't need to worry. Now let's talk about why trust is so rare. Trust is rare because most people are emotional. Most people are impulsive. Most people are inconsistent. They are strong one week and weak the next. They are loyal when it benefits them and disloyal when it doesn't. They speak confidently when things are going well, but they collapse when pressure arrives. Powerful people have seen betrayal. They have seen laziness. They have seen people waste chances. They have seen people take opportunities and destroy them. That is why they are careful. That is why they move slowly. That is why they test people without announcing the test. And you must pass those tests if you want access. One of the first tests is confidentiality. Powerful people want to know if you can keep your mouth closed. If they share something small, do you repeat it? Do you mention it to others?
Oh.
Do you use it to sound important? Do you drop hints to make yourself look connected? Many people fail this test because they crave validation. They want people to know they are close to someone important. But the elite don't trust people who need to prove connection. Because if you expose small information for attention, you will expose big information for attention. So if you want powerful people to trust you, learn to be discreet. Learn to keep conversations private.
Oh.
Learn to stay silent about what you hear. Learn to protect people's reputations. Discretion is not just politeness. Discretion is power, and powerful people love people who know how to stay quiet. Another test is loyalty. Loyalty doesn't mean blind obedience. Loyalty means you don't betray someone for short-term gain. It means you don't gossip about them. It means you don't switch sides when something better appears. It means you don't speak negatively about people who helped you. Powerful people respect loyalty because they know loyalty is rare. And if you are loyal, you become valuable, because loyalty creates security. Now let's talk about responsibility. Opportunities are responsibility. Many people want opportunity, but they don't want responsibility. They want the reward, but not the pressure. They want the recognition, but not the workload. They want the promotion, but not the discipline. Powerful people can sense this weakness. They can sense who is hungry for status, but not ready for the weight. So if you want trust, you must become responsible in your daily life. Handle small responsibilities with excellence. Handle your health. Handle your schedule. Handle your finances. Handle your habits. Handle your commitments. Because if you cannot handle your own life, powerful people will not trust you with their opportunities. They will not hand you their world if you can't manage yours. Another test is humility. Powerful people don't trust arrogant individuals. Arrogance is unstable. Arrogance creates conflict. Arrogance creates ego battles. Arrogant people often refuse feedback. They refuse correction. They refuse accountability. And that makes them dangerous. Powerful people want someone who is confident but coachable. Humility is coachability. Humility means you can learn. Humility means you can take advice without feeling insulted. Humility means you can admit mistakes without making excuses. Humility means you can grow without needing to be right all the time. And growth is what powerful people want around them. Now here is something very important. Powerful people often give small opportunities first. They don't start by giving you the big deal. They give you a small task, a small responsibility, a small introduction, a small role, and they watch what you do with it. Do you treat it seriously? Do you treat it with respect? Do you deliver on time? Do you deliver with quality? Do you complain? Do you act entitled? Do you disappear? Do you create drama? That small opportunity is a test, and your performance becomes your reputation. This is why you must treat every opportunity like it is the biggest one you will ever receive. Because you never know who is watching. You never know who will mention your name later. You never know who will remember your discipline. The elite watch how you handle the little things, because little things reveal big character. Also, powerful people trust those who can handle pressure. Pressure reveals truth. Under pressure, weak people panic. Under pressure, emotional people blame others. Under pressure, insecure people become defensive. But under pressure, disciplined people become sharper. They become calmer. They become more focused. And powerful people respect that, because pressure is normal in their world. So if you want to be trusted with opportunities, train yourself to stay calm when things go wrong. Learn to breathe before reacting. Learn to think before speaking. Learn to solve problems instead of complaining about them. Learn to keep your emotions under control, because emotional stability builds trust faster than talent ever will. And finally, understand this. Trust is earned slowly, but it can be destroyed instantly. One careless decision, one betrayal, one lie, one broken promise, one moment of irresponsibility can ruin years of progress. That is why you must protect your character, like it is your future, because it is. So remember this law. Become the person people trust with opportunities. Be discreet, be loyal, be responsible, be humble, be consistent, be calm under pressure. Keep your word, protect reputations, deliver results. Because the elite don't give opportunities to the loudest person. They give opportunities to the safest person. And when you become that person, doors will open that you never even knew existed. Chapter 15. Think long-term. Relationships are investments. If you want to create real connections with powerful people, you must stop thinking in short-term rewards. Powerful people don't build relationships like desperate people do. They don't build relationships for quick favors, fast money, or instant access. They build relationships like investors. Carefully, slowly, strategically, with patience, with vision. Because in elite circles, relationships are not casual. Relationships are assets. So here is the final law. Think long-term. Relationships are investments. This law is what separates people who build temporary connections from those who build lifelong alliances. Many people meet someone influential and immediately start thinking, how can this person help me? They start chasing benefits. They start asking for opportunities. They start pushing for introductions. They start trying to get something quickly. And that approach almost always fails. Because powerful people can sense impatience. They can sense hunger without discipline. They can sense when someone is not there for connection, but for extraction. And when they sense that, they pull away. They may still be polite. They may still smile. But internally, they label you as a taker. And takers are not trusted. Powerful people move slowly because they understand the cost of a bad relationship. A bad relationship can ruin business. A bad relationship can damage reputation. A bad relationship can create betrayal. A bad relationship can create legal trouble. A bad relationship can create chaos. So they do not rush. They watch people. They observe behavior over time. They test consistency. They test loyalty. They test emotional stability. That is why the elite don't trust fast. And if you want to be accepted into their world, you must respect that process. The long-term mindset means you stop forcing closeness. You stop rushing familiarity. You stop trying to jump levels too quickly. Instead, you allow relationships to develop naturally. You understand that trust is built through repetition, through consistent interaction, through small proof over time. Just like wealth is built through consistent investment. Since why relationships are investments. Since why you invest money gradually. You invest respect gradually. You invest reliability gradually. You invest contribution gradually. And over time, the relationship grows stronger. But only if you stay consistent. Now, one of the greatest mistakes people make is treating powerful people like stepping stones. They meet someone influential and they only show interest while they are useful. Once they get what they want, they disappear, or they move to the next person. And powerful people notice that behavior, since they and who leaves. They notice who only calls when they need something. They notice who is only loyal when it benefits them. And that behavior destroys trust permanently. If you want powerful connections, you must become the kind of person who stays. Stay even when there is nothing to gain. Stay even when the opportunity is not immediate. Stay even when you are not receiving rewards. Stay consistent. Stay respectful. Stay loyal, because loyalty over time is what separates real relationships from fake ones. Powerful people admire patience. Patience signals confidence. It signals that you are not desperate. It signals that you are building your own life, not waiting for someone to rescue you. It signals that you understand long-term thinking, and long-term thinking is elite thinking. Another part of thinking long-term is understanding that relationships must be protected. The elite protect their relationships carefully. They don't start unnecessary conflicts. They don't argue emotionally. They don't create drama. They don't disrespect people over small misunderstandings. They value peace because peace protects progress. So if you want to keep powerful connections, learn to avoid ego battles. Don't take everything personally. Don't overreact. Don't get offended easily. Don't create emotional tension. Powerful people are attracted to people who are easy to work with. People who bring calmness. People who bring solutions. People who bring stability. Stability is relationship wealth. Also, long-term relationships require you to keep growing. This is important. Many people meet someone powerful and they stop improving. They consecting will carry them forever. But powerful people don't respect stagnant people. They respect growth. Progress. They respect those who keep sharpening themselves. If you want to stay in elite circles, you must keep upgrading, keep learning, keep building skills. Keep rethinking your reputation, keep raising your standards. People want to be around people who are rising, not people who are decaying. If you stop growing, you become a burden, and burdens are removed. Another key part of long-term thinking is understanding that relationships require maintenance. You cannot build connection once and then disappear for years. Even strong relationships need attention, not constant attention, but consistent respect. A message, a check-in, a thoughtful compliment, a small act of support, a useful insight, a genuine congratulations. These small actions keep relationships alive, and powerful people remember those who remember them. You don't need to chase them, you just need to stay present in a respectful way. You need to show that your connection is real, not transactional. Now there is something else the elite understand. Relationships compound. A relationship built today can open doors 5 years later. A connection made in a small moment can become a major opportunity later. A person you help quietly today may become someone powerful tomorrow. That is why you must treat everyone with respect. Don't only respect people with status. Don't only value those who can benefit you. The elite understand that today's unknown person could become tomorrow's leader. So they treat people well. They treat people with dignity. They build goodwill everywhere. Because goodwill is an investment, and goodwill pays back in unexpected ways. Finally, understand that the elite do not collect relationships like trophies. They build a small number of strong alliances. They build deep trust. They build long-term partnerships. They build circles of loyalty. They don't want 1,000 weak connections. They want a few strong ones. So don't chase quantity, chase quality. Build relationships that last. Relationships based on trust. Relationships based on respect. Relationships based on shared standards. Relationships based on real value exchange. Because the goal is not to meet powerful people. The goal is to build a life where powerful people choose to stay connected to you. So remember this final law. Think long-term, be patient, be consistent, protect relationships, avoid drama, keep growing, keep showing up, keep investing in trust. Because in the end, powerful relationships are not built by luck. They are built by character over time, and time always rewards those who build wisely. Conclusion. You have now learned the 15 laws that shape the way powerful people build relationships, protect their circle, and decide who deserves access to their world. And if there is one message you should carry with you after finishing this audiobook, it is this: powerful connections are not created through chasing. They are created through becoming. The elite do not respect desperation. They do not respect empty talk. They do not respect people who want shortcuts. They respect discipline. They respect competence. They respect stability. They respect character. And most importantly, they respect value. That is why the first law was so important. Become valuable before you become visible. Because visibility without value is noise, and the elite do not waste their attention on noise. When you build skill, when you build results, when you build standards, you naturally begin to attract higher-level people. Not because you begged for them, but because you earned your place. You learned that asking for help too early often closes doors, while offering utility opens them. You learned that first impressions matter, because powerful people move fast and decide quickly. You learned how communication can elevate you or expose your insecurity. You learned that reputation travels ahead of you, and that emotional control is one of the strongest signals of leadership. You also learned that status and respect are invisible forces shaping every room, and that strategic listening is a rare weapon in a world full of loud talkers. You learned that opportunity lives in certain environments, and if you refuse to position yourself correctly, you will stay stuck, even with talent. You learned that consistency earns access far more than charisma, and that the elite admire people who add value quietly without demanding applause. You learned that building your own circle is the mindset of a leader, and that social intelligence protects your reputation in high-level spaces. You learned that trust is the true gatekeeper of opportunity, and that long-term thinking is what turns connections into alliances. Now the question becomes simple: what will you do with this knowledge? Because knowledge without action is just entertainment. And this audiobook was not created to entertain you. It was created to change you, to sharpen you, to push you into a higher version of yourself. The elite do not live by luck. They live by standards. And if you want to connect with them, you must adopt the same standards. Start small. Apply these laws in your daily life. Strengthen your discipline. Improve your communication. Raise your habits. Protect your reputation. Become more reliable. Become more stable. Become more useful. Become more discreet. Become more consistent. And do it with patience, because real influence is not built in a week. It is built through years of character. And remember this: the elite are not searching for people who want to be powerful. They are searching for people who already act like power. People who bring calmness, competence, loyalty, and solutions. People who elevate the room. People who carry themselves with maturity. So don't chase powerful people. Build yourself into someone powerful. And when you do, your life will begin to change in ways you cannot yet imagine. New rooms will open. New conversations will happen. new opportunities will appear, not because you demanded them, but because you became worthy of them. Your future connections are not determined by your luck. They are determined by your standards. And from this moment forward, you know exactly what standards to live by.